Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to the Post-Apocalyptic News Radio, your only source for the latest goings-on in a little corner of the post-apocalyptic wasteland we call home. Our top story tonight, the Dark Festival. More on that later. For now, let's get into the weather. I must provide you a disclaimer, however. Our equipment has been damaged. We cannot guarantee accuracy in our predictions. That said, we do expect thunderstorms tomorrow morning, lasting throughout the day. High winds 11 kilometers per hour. Expect lower temperatures, with our highest being around 25 degrees Celsius and a low of 22 later in the evening. The storm system we've been monitoring is continuing west at approximately 2 kilometers a day. Still holding strong for now, but the system is expected to dissipate within a week. In the meantime, do use caution between Pebble Island and John's Key. That's our weather, and now on to more pressing matters. It's no secret that this world is a dangerous place. People have grown desperate and taken to helping themselves to your stuff when you're least prepared. Stay ready, stay informed with the latest reported bandit movements. The door choppers have made camp along the beach adjacent to Henrietta's lighthouse. They have, up to this point in time, not injured any person or animal that we know of. But they are responsible for a great deal of property damage. We do not recommend your approach, but it is our opinion that they are not hostile towards people or Fathom. The Skiv have engaged the FDN vessel Rat 7. The encounter left 5 crewmen injured, 1 drowned. According to the surviving crew's account of the situation, the Skiv seemed to run into Rat 7 by mistake, likely in an attempt to evade the incoming storm. 3 Skiv were injured in the encounter, none were killed. The Skiv were last seen headed south to open water. A deadly move, as any Fathom will tell you. Moving on, the world outside has changed. The environment has grown cruel and harsh. Water and food have become prized commodities, and all the creatures we once knew have had to adapt. Some are kind, some strange, many monstrous. Let's discuss our new wasteland fauna. We've received reports of a creature roaming across the wasteland. From Greencourt to Darth, it truly traveled terrible distances. It stands tall at approximately 2 1/2 meters. With arms that stretch to its knees, its black fur blends into the night, suggesting it to be nocturnal. Those who see this creature have been consumed by dread and despair, as though such pain radiates from the wanderer. Interestingly, this creature is curious, having been seen investigating sources of light, unusual structures, and waste heaps. Please do not misunderstand, I do not mean night soil heaps, but common garbage. One man was able to capture a glimpse of the creature's face. The eyes seemed to mirror the light back in a gold color, not dissimilar from a cat. The night wanderer fled thereafter. We believe it fears the light, but we cannot confirm that without more data. Unfortunately, we must take a short break. Our benefactors demand time for their advertisements, but don't touch that dial, because we'll be right back. The streets of Mint Lane are clean, families are housed, people feel a sense of security. This was accomplished by Bell. Graham seeks to change the very foundation that keeps us safe. Vote Bell for your security. This message approved by Bell Harrison. Do you squint and struggle to read? Do faces seem blurred and ill-defined? Is it impossible to find small objects? Your eyes may be lost to age, disease, or mutations. Come to Optics Robotics in Vapnia. And we're back. Did you miss me? Because I missed you quite terribly. Moving right along, let's talk survival. More accurately, let's talk survival cooking. More specifically, Let's talk quality, survival, culinary. Most of us haven't had a decent meal since the world ended, living off the scraps of the world past or risking contaminated meat hunted from our new furry friends. Often bland or bitter, these meals leave us wanting. However, thanks to a kind soul traveling the wastes, I know a few things you can do to better your meals. In the world that was, we were spoiled for oil. Peanut, olive, canola, and so much more, our oil needs were fulfilled. In the world that is, we are left with only what we can find, and only what we can keep from salvages. Yes, our oil runs low and will soon run out, but it doesn't need to. As it happens, there's a creature, the gill worm, a sort of slug that parasites the gills of Fathom. When removed from the fathom, they produce an oil-like secretion, which helps them control their buoyancy. With the addition of salt, they can be compelled to produce more of this secretion than is needed, seemingly as a defensive measure. We're calling their oil gill oil, and it works not dissimilarly from the common oils of the world that was. I've personally started to keep a gill worm as a sort of pet, much to the chagrin of Miss Beans. Moving on, our top story tonight, the Dark Festival. It's that time of year where we celebrate the unity we have found. Fathom, Mechmen, humans, Thristle, and those who come after. Many settlements celebrate with shared food, others with stories of our not-so-distant past, and some with song. However we choose to celebrate our humanity, our shared scales, our time, do so with a friend, wherever they may be from. But with that, I'm afraid we're out of time. I should like to thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you all the very best, and if you're truly out there, good luck.